Hello?
Hello, Mr. Burgess.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Ruby. I'm from Toronto Police Services Board.
Yeah.
I saw the emails that you sent us. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a legal expert. But my understanding is what you're looking for is a judicial review of the decision of the SIU. That is not a matter for a police investigation. It is not a matter for the board to investigate.
The SIU covering up a complaint is obstruction of justice.
It's not a matter for investigation. It's a matter for a judge to decide. So,
no. A judge doesn't decide obstruction of justice.
Yes, they do.
No. But the police have... a judge can't charge somebody with obstruction of justice because of a judicial review. That's not a criminal investigation.
You can file for a court to review the decision of the SIU. I don't know.
It's too late to do that anyway.
You will have to speak to a lawyer and understand from them exactly what options are in front of you. There is no way for the Toronto Police to investigate a decision pertaining to the SIU. The SIU investigates the police, not the other way around.
No, I'm not asking the SIU to investigate. I'm not asking the Toronto Police to investigate
the ombudsman because they're not investigating the SIU.
Yes.
We can't do that.
Where does it say you can't do that?
It's just not something that...
So if the SIU was to commit a criminal act, who would investigate them?
If the criminal act supposedly is an SIU decision not to carry out an investigation...
So you think the SIU covering up a complaint they receive against a police officer, that's not obstruction of justice?
Mr. Burgess, what I'm saying is that it is the SIU's mandate to make decisions, including rejecting complaints. And the only avenue that's open to you in such a case is to turn to the court and require them to review that decision.
Okay,
and if they decide to tell the SIU that they have to reopen the investigation, that's what will happen. But it's not a matter for a police investigation.
So if a police officer is being investigated by the SIU, gives the SIU director $100 to cover up his complaint, that's not obstruction of justice.
Well, in that case, that would be again a matter for the court to look into.
No. I'm saying that wouldn't be obstruction. You're saying that's not obstruction of justice for the SIU to outright cover up a complaint that they receive.
Do you have any evidence?
Yeah, I have evidence. The sexual assault is on video. Huh?
Do you have evidence of bribe?
I have evidence. The sexual assault is on video. And the SIU said it wasn't an intentional touch by the officer. Yeah, he's looking right at his hands. He's patting me down. He's looking right at his hands.
But the SIU determined that there was no misconduct.
Yeah, but they're lying, though.
Okay, but then you have to go to the court and request...
No, but the SIU covering up a complaint...
You're asking the police to investigate the body that investigates the police.
No, I'm not asking the Toronto Police to investigate the Ombudsman's office. The SIU office is not in Toronto.
Once again, a decision by the Ombudsman as well is not something that is within the purview
the Ombudsman's office. The Ombudsman's complaints are done through the Ombudsman's Act. So if someone tries to cover up a complaint by the Ombudsman's office...
But they're making a legal decision, and unless you have...
No, it's not a legal decision.
Evidence, it is a legal decision for them to determine whether or not to accept the complaint.
The Ombudsman's
unless you have evidence that there was some sort of misconduct, such as a bribe, then there's no room for investigation. You have to take this through the court.
The Ombudsman's complaints are done through the Ombudsman's Act. So if someone tries to cover up a complaint against whether the Ombudsman's office proceeds, they're obstructing the Ombudsman's Act, and that's obstructing justice. Obstructing a government act is obstructing justice.
It's within their mandate to reject.
Yeah, for legitimate reasons, but they didn't do it for these reasons.
Then again, this is not a matter for a police.
So you're saying the Ombudsman's office outright covering up a complaint they received, that's not obstruction of justice?
I am saying that what you're asking for is a review of their decision.
I'm asking you a criminal investigation into that decision.
So let's run with the idea. What can the police possibly find? They will go to the ombudsman's office. They will confiscate everything from this file, and they will see that there was a decision by the ombudsman to reject the complaint.
Yes, and you know the reason they rejected the complaint?
I do not. I'm not.
Okay, I'll tell you.
I'm not.
The Ombudsman's office said we can't investigate legal decisions of the SIU, but if you look at the Ombudsman's Act at Section 14.1, it says they can investigate any decision or recommendation of the SIU. Any decision.
So again, this is a judicial review of the decision. It's not a matter.
No, but if they outright cover up my complaint I sent to them.
It's not a cover-up. It is.
It's a cover-up if I tell them the Ombudsman's Act says you can investigate them, and they refuse to.
Of the court, it is a wrong decision of the Ombudsman, potentially. So this is only something that the court can determine.
You're saying it's not obstruction of justice for the Ombudsman's office to cover up a complaint they received.
Neither myself, I'm not a police officer, I'm not a legal scholar or anything like that.
You don't know that it's
neither
not
myself nor the police have the tools to determine whether
wait a minute. You're saying
was wrong.
You're saying the police don't have the tools to investigate a criminal complaint?
I'm saying that we do not have the tools to investigate a complaint that a decision by a legal body was inappropriate.
But you look at the decision, you look at their explanation as to why they refused to do the investigation, and then look at the rules, see if they can do that.
And if the decision is inappropriate, then the right avenue to respond to that is by getting a lawyer and filing.
I've talked to many lawyers about this. They say it's obstruction of justice for the Ombudsman's office to outright cover up a complaint that they receive. It's obstructing the Ombudsman's Act.
I'm not refuting that. I don't know what the situation actually is. I am saying that this is not something that the police can investigate.
Yes, they can. They can investigate crimes.
You have to go to the court and request a judicial review of that decision.
The Toronto police don't investigate criminal acts that happen in Toronto.
They do.
Yeah.
But not decisions of legislative bodies. No.
Where does it say they can't investigate that decision? Because I've read the criminal code and it doesn't say it in there. It doesn't say in the Ombudsman's Act that they're not able to be investigated by the police. There's no reasonable cause here for an investigation. Yeah, there is, because they said they can't investigate legal decisions. No, and based on the facts and stuff, and based on the rules they have to follow. But if they don't follow those rules, then that's obstruction. They're doing it on purpose. Why would they do that on purpose? Because they're covering up the SIU's decision. That's why. Why are they covering up the? I don't know. I don't know why the OIPRD cover up complaints too, but they do. So I'm sorry, but I can tell you we can't do anything. You can file a complaint against the chief. You can file a complaint against the chief. I do that, and the SIU cover it up. So I want you guys to file a complaint. So we can't. This is going around in a circle. We can't do that. Yes, you can. The rules say if you have knowledge of misconduct by a police officer in Ontario, and you can file a complaint against them. But if you already filed complaints, not against the chief. Not against the chief. So you need to file that complaint. You have the data. No, but if I file it, the SIU, the OIPRD will just cover it up. If you guys file it, they might not cover it up. I cannot believe that the OIPRD would cover up. You can't believe? Look at my website. They've covered up many complaints. Okay, but your complaints are that your complaints are being rejected. That's not a cover-up. Who? OIPRD? Within their mandate. The OIPRD? Yeah. No, if they're covering up and the explanation makes no sense, then that's obstruction. They're obstructing the Police Services Act. A decision that not to continue with an investigation is not obstruction of law. It is if they're not following the rules, if they're doing it on purpose. It is. It's obstructing the Police Services Act.
You can't treat every decision not to accept your complaint as an obstruction of law.
No, but I looked at their reasoning for not accepting my complaint, and it doesn't make sense, and they refuse to explain it to me.
So if the reason does not make sense, then the only avenue is not a criminal investigation. It is a matter of judicial review, because it is not a crime for the OIPRD or the SAU or the ombudsman to make a decision to reject a complaint, even if the rationale for that is lacking. The only thing that can be done in those cases is ask for judicial review from the courts of that decision, and the court can decide that the rationale provided is inappropriate.
So if you think if they outright cover up, if the Ombudsman's office gets a $100 bill from the SIU director, and for that reason they cover up my complaint, that's not obstruction.
It might be obstruction, but it is something for the court to decide.
Police don't investigate obstruction of justice.
Not when it's done by bodies, by legislative bodies. No.
Where does it say that? So you're saying the Ombudsman's office is above the law?
It is not above the law.
That's why you
have judicial review.
No, but if they violate the law, they can investigate.
But you don't have any evidence that there has been a bribe.
No, I'm not saying a bribe. I'm saying if
they're covering it up, and you don't know why they're covering it up.
No, I know why I don't know why they cover it up, but I know they covered it up though, because their reasoning for the decision makes no sense. They said they can't investigate legal decisions of the SIU. The Ombudsman's Act said
there's no ground here for a criminal investigation.
No.
This is not a criminal act.
Yes, it is. They're obstructing the Ombudsman's Act.
That's not what that means.
As
far as I understand. Again, nothing I say here is legal advice because I'm not a lawyer. But to my understanding, that is not the case. And the reason I called you is to let you know that we have looked at this. We are not planning on filing a complaint. We've referred your information that you provided to us to the Office of the Chief, and they will determine to do whatever.
So you think if the chief of police ignores a criminal complaint, he's not obstructing justice? It's not a misconduct on his part?
I think it is within his purview to make a decision that this is not something that should be investigated.
But the Supreme Court says police discretion has to be done in the public interest. How is it in the public interest for the chief of police not to launch a criminal investigation into the Ombudsman's office?
Because they don't feel that there is sufficient grounds for an investigation.
Okay, so the Ombudsman's office outright just covering up. They know they can investigate the SIU, but they refuse to, without good reason. That's not obstruction.
That is not something that can be investigated by the police. It is something that is a matter for judicial review, and we're going around and around.
Yeah, I know. We're going around and around. Yeah,
but it's not going to change the bottom line. The bottom line is that we're not going to act. We're not going to file a complaint with the OIPRD. We're not going to investigate our chief of police for this. So my suggestion to you, you seek a lawyer who will take this for
I've spoken to many lawyers.
Review, then there is nothing else that we can do.
But it's a crime for the Ombudsman's office to cover up a complaint they receive.
What the Ombudsman did is not a crime.
It's not a crime.
There is no reason for us to suspect that it is a crime. You saying that it is obstruction of justice is not reasonable, sufficient cause for us to start a criminal investigation.
So they outright cover up a complaint. I tell them, you guys can investigate the SIU, and they say, we know we can, but we're not going to. That's not obstruction.
That is not obstruction. It's within
so
their mandate.
So what definition of obstruction of justice are you going by?
It is within their mandate to refuse to investigate.
Yeah, for the right reasons. For the right reasons, they can refuse. But they didn't refuse for the right reasons.
I don't know what their reasons are.
They said they can't investigate a legal decision of the SIU.
Because it is within their mandate to make that decision.
Yeah, for the right reasons they can make that decision. If it's for the wrong reasons.
This is a matter for judicial review. I'm not going to repeat it again. This is a matter for judicial review. It is not a matter for police investigation. And I ask, please, respectfully, that you cease to email our staff on this matter because this is not going to lead to any action of ours. I, for one, am going to recommend to to our chair that further emails from you.
Can I get a letter from the chair saying she's been told all this and she agrees with it?
I can ask her, but I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not committing to her giving you such a letter.
Okay, so you believe the Ombudsman's office did not obstruct justice?
I believe that I don't know, and I believe.
But you just said they didn't, though. You just said there's not enough evidence for a criminal investigation.
I say I don't know, and it is not for us to determine that. It's for the court.
Yeah, but you don't know, though. So how do you know it's just for the courts to decide?
That's how these things work.
What's that?
That's how it works. A decision by.
But you say you're not a lawyer, yet you don't know. There's not. You're saying there's not enough evidence.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm telling you.
Okay, so will you find out by talking to a lawyer? I'm sure the Police Services Board has a lawyer.
This is for you to find out by speaking.
I already spoke to a lawyer, though.
Okay,
if you look at the section 139(2) of the criminal code.
I'm not going to look at any section.
Why not?
I'm telling you our decision.
But you just said you may be wrong.
I may be wrong about the legal aspect, but I'm telling you our decision.
So are you going to look up to see if you're right or wrong? Are you going to look at section 139(2) of the criminal code?
I know what is right and wrong about our abilities and what we think is the right way to move forward. And I told you that.
So you believe the chief of police ignoring a criminal complaint is not a misconduct on his part?
Absolutely.
You believe that? How is that not a misconduct?
In this case,
the Police Services Act says withholding services is a misconduct.
It is not withholding services.
Yes, he is. He's ignoring a criminal complaint.
There is no grounds for investigation.
No, you just said you don't know that.
That was their decision. You can't go. Okay, I'm not going to get into this again because they're going round and round and round. That's how we're going to move forward. I ask you respectfully not to email us anymore with this matter. You can take whatever other avenue you have for addressing this. The board is not going to act on this. So the board's going to be corrupt. So what you're telling me is the Police Services Board in Toronto is corrupt. If you want to interpret it that way, that's you guys are corrupt. Because you guys are in bed with the Toronto Police. I am not going to respond to that. You're not going to respond to that. Why not? But you don't know that I'm wrong. You've said that several times. I am not going to continue this discussion. I told you our decision. I'm asking you to stop contacting us on this matter. But you don't know that I'm wrong. Well, you said that. But I know that there is nothing for us to act on here. But you just said you don't know that I'm wrong. I'm not going to continue this. I have other things I need to get to. You just said you don't know I'm wrong. Yet you're saying you're not going to do anything. Sir, I said what our plan moving ahead is, and that is not to follow up with any sort of though you don't know I'm wrong. Or complaint. Even though you don't know I'm wrong. Yes. Yes. Okay. So you're admitting you don't know I'm wrong, but you're not going to file a complaint against the chief. Because you guys are in bed with the Toronto Police then. You must be. Why else would you not file a complaint against the chief if you knew he committed a misconduct? Because he did not commit misconduct. No, you just said you don't know that. No, I said that it is his prerogative not to follow up on something that does not raise grounds for. But you don't know that, though. You admit it. You're not a lawyer. You don't know. I believe his decision is within his mandate. And I believe the Ombudsman decision is within their mandate, and the SOU. So you think it's within their mandate to outright cover up a complaint that they receive? That's what you think. This is the last time I'm going to say. Please go seek judicial review of the decisions that you are disputing. You're not going to succeed through criminal investigation. You have no ground for. But you just said you don't know I'm wrong. Sir, I'm not going to keep going. I'm going to hang up soon if we don't end this amicably. You need to seek judicial review of the decisions that you dispute. How do you know that, though, if you don't know the law? I'm not going to continue this. But you just said you're not a lawyer. You don't know. I also said I am not going to continue this conversation. Because you don't know that I'm wrong? Because I am done with this conversation. I explained to you what our decision is. And
and I'm saying you're wrong, and you don't know that I'm wrong about that.
I am, again, not going to continue this conversation. Because neither of us has said anything new in the past 5 minutes. So I have told you, I'm asking you to go seek a lawyer, file a...
And if the lawyer tells me there's obstruction of justice here on the part of the Ombudsman's office...
I'm asking you not to email us further.
So if I talk to a lawyer and the lawyer says that the Ombudsman's office has obstructed justice, will the chief then file a criminal
No, the lawyer can take this to the court.
No, I'm saying a lawyer can't file charges against people. No, the courts can't file charges.
It's not filing charges. It's appealing a decision.
No. I'm talking about a criminal investigation.
There is no room for a criminal investigation.
But you don't know that. You just said you don't know that.
I did not say that I don't know.
Yeah, you said you're not a lawyer. You don't know.
Listen to me. I am saying there is no room for a criminal investigation before there has been any determination of the court that the decision itself was not valid. The Ombudsman's office said they can't investigate the SIU because it's a legal decision, but the Ombudsman's office says they can investigate any decision of the SIU. So clearly they're wrong. They can also not investigate if they wish to.
Who, the Ombudsman's office?
Yes.
There's nothing says that. It says they can investigate any decision of the SIU.
They can, but they don't have to.
Yeah, they do. The Ombudsman's Act says they have to.
No, it does not.
It doesn't say it.
Again, doesn't matter because this is not a matter for a criminal investigation of the Toronto Police Service. I ask you once more, do not email us further on this matter.
So you're saying the Ombudsman's office outright covering up complaints they get is not obstruction of justice. That's what you're saying.
Or I can hang up just in the middle of it.
So you're saying that the Ombudsman's office outright covering up a complaint that they receive is not obstruction of justice. Is that what you're saying?
Goodbye, sir.
Is that what you're saying?
Goodbye, sir.
So you're saying the office not covering up a complaint that they receive is not obstruction of justice. That's what you're saying.